You are not lazy. I know that is hard to believe right now, after all the times you have started over and quietly given up. But stay with me, because by the end of this I think you will see that the thing you keep calling weak willpower was never that at all. It was something much smaller. And much easier to fix than you think. There is even one specific moment, a tiny one, so small that almost nobody notices it happen, where most habits quietly die. Get that single moment right and everything else gets easier. We will get to it. But first, let me tell you why this Sunday night feels so familiar. Because there is a particular kind of quiet that shows up on a Sunday night. You have decided that tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow you start running again, or reading again, or finally going to bed at a reasonable hour. You can almost feel the better version of yourself waiting on the other side of Monday. And for a few days, it works. You feel it. Then a meeting runs late. Or you are tired. Or one day just gets away from you. You miss once. Then twice. And by the end of the week you are back exactly where you started, except now there is a small voice that says, quietly, here we go again. If you have lived inside that loop, the starting over, the missing, the giving up, the promising yourself that next time will be different, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not lazy. You do not lack willpower. You have been fighting the wrong battle the whole time. Today we are borrowing from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Not to summarize it. To use it. Because tucked inside it are a few ideas that explain, almost uncomfortably well, why you keep ending up back at the start line. And once you see them, the loop stops looking like a personal failing and starts looking like something you can actually fix. So pour yourself something warm, and let's sit with this for a few minutes. Let's begin with the thing almost nobody tells you. The reason you keep starting over is not that your goals are too big. It is that goals were never going to save you. Think about it for a second. The person who runs a marathon and the person who quits in training week 3 have the exact same goal. They both want to finish. The goal is identical. What separates them is not how badly they want it. It is the system they wake up to every single morning. The one who finishes has built a small, boring, repeatable routine that carries them on the days they do not feel like it. The one who quits is relying on motivation, and motivation, as you have noticed, does not show up reliably. So when you set a goal and nothing changes, you tend to turn on yourself. You decide you need more discipline. But you do not have a discipline problem. You have a system problem. You had nothing in place to catch you on a bad day. And bad days are not the exception. For most of us, they are most days. Which brings us to the first real shift, and it is the one almost everyone skips. You have probably been trying to change what you do. I will run 3 times a week. I will read 10 pages a night. Good intentions, all of them. But underneath what you do sits something quieter and far more powerful, and that is who you believe you are. Here is the uncomfortable part. Every time you sit down to build a new habit, you are not just fighting the couch. You are arguing with your own self-image. If somewhere deep down you believe you are someone who is just not a runner, someone who has never been able to stick to anything, then a missed day is not a small slip. It becomes your old identity quietly saying, "See, I told you so." And the old you tends to win these arguments, because the old you has years of evidence stacked up on its side. Clear's idea is to flip the whole order around. Instead of chasing a result and hoping it eventually changes who you are, you decide who you want to be first, and then you let tiny actions become the proof. You do not force yourself to run to lose 10 pounds. You go for a short, easy run because you are becoming the kind of person who moves their body. Every time you show up, even badly, even for 5 minutes, you are casting a small vote for that person. You are not trying to reach a finish line. You are slowly gathering evidence that this is simply who you are now. It sounds like a small reframe. It is actually the difference between forcing yourself and being yourself. One of those you can keep up for a week. The other you can keep up for a life. Now here is where most people quit, and they quit at the worst possible moment. Picture an ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. You start warming the room, very slowly. 26 degrees. 27. 28. The cube does nothing. 29. 30. Still nothing. You are doing everything right and the ice just sits there, mocking you. Then, at 32 degrees, it begins to melt. The same gentle 1-degree shift that seemed to do absolutely nothing for ages suddenly changes everything. Your habits behave exactly like that ice. The early effort feels completely wasted. You eat well for 2 weeks and the mirror looks the same. You read every night and feel no smarter. You practice and you still sound like a beginner. This stretch has a name. Clear calls it the Valley of Disappointment. It is the gap between the work you are quietly putting in and the results you can actually see yet. And here is the cruel timing of it. That valley is usually deepest right before things start to work. Your progress is hiding, compounding underneath where you cannot watch it, and then it shows up almost all at once. But most people never get to that moment. They walk away in the valley, convinced nothing is happening, sometimes only days before the ice would have melted. Not because they failed. Because they judged their progress by what they could see, instead of by whether they kept showing up. So if you are in that flat, frustrating stretch right now, where you are doing the work and seeing nothing, I want you to consider that this might not be the sign to stop. It might be the part right before it starts to count. So let's say you understand all of this. You have the right identity. You are willing to sit in the valley a little longer. There is still one quiet moment that ends almost every habit, and it is so small you barely notice it happen. It is the second missed day. Here is the thing nobody warns you about. Missing once is completely harmless. You will miss. Life happens. You get sick, you travel, a day simply falls apart. One skipped workout has never undone anyone. The damage is not in the miss. It is in the story we tell ourselves about the miss. We treat one slip as proof that the whole thing is already ruined, and we think, well, I have broken it now, I might as well restart on Monday. And just like that, one missed day quietly becomes a missed week, and the old habit moves right back into the space you cleared for the new one. So the rule is almost stupidly simple. Never miss twice. Miss a day, fine. Just never let it become 2 in a row. Could not do your full workout? Do 1 push-up. Could not read your 10 pages? Read 1 line. The point was never the push-up or the single line. The point is that you refuse to let the chain of who you are becoming break in half. You are not aiming for perfect. You are aiming for never gone for long. The people who build habits that actually last are not the ones who never slip. They are the ones who slip, and then come straight back, before a single bad day can harden into a story about how they always quit. And quickly, if this is the kind of thinking you want more of, quietly working through one real struggle at a time using what good books already figured out, then subscribe and come back next time. That is the whole reason Borrow Wisdom exists. So if you take one thing from today, take this. You were never failing because something is wrong with you. You kept starting over because you were chasing goals instead of building a system, trying to change your actions instead of your identity, walking out of the valley before the ice had a chance to melt, and treating one ordinary bad day as permission to disappear completely. Here is what I would actually do this week. Pick one habit. Just one. Make it so small it feels almost embarrassing to say out loud. 2 minutes. 1 page. 1 push-up. Small enough that even your worst, busiest, most exhausted day cannot give you an excuse. Then quietly attach it to who you are becoming, not to a number you are chasing. And make yourself one promise. When you miss, and you will miss, you come back the very next day. Never twice. That is the whole thing. No grand fresh start required. No waiting for the first of the month. Just a smaller step and a shorter gap before you return to it. One quick note before we go. Borrow Wisdom shares ideas from books to get you thinking, not as professional advice for your own situation. Take what is useful here, leave whatever is not, and make it yours. Life is hard. Borrow wisdom. I'll see you in the next one.